One of the most difficult things to manage as a barista is when you're working behind the bar and a customer asks for an extra hot coffee, or even worse, they send it back because it's not hot enough. As a well-trained barista, you already know that you can only steam milk to about 65 to 70 degrees before it starts getting too hot and you split the milk and you ruin the taste. So here are just a few things that you can do to help serve extra hot coffee for your customers. If you have any tips of your own as well, then make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. The first thing that you need to do is to make sure that you are generously preheating your cup. Now, you really should be preheating all of your cups for all of your hot drinks. If you're pouring a hot drink into a cold cup, you're immediately going to bring down the temperature. So we recommend storing all of your cups on top of your espresso machine, which will be nice and warm from the boiler underneath, and that will help bring up the temperature a little bit for all of your hot drinks. But if a customer asks for an extra hot coffee, or they send one back because it's not hot enough, then you need to take that extra step. Using the hot tap on your espresso machine, pour some boiling water into the cup and leave it sitting whilst you prepare the portafilter and your milk jug. Just by taking this simple step, you can easily add 5 to 10 degrees back to that finished drink, which is going to let your customer enjoy it for longer. Also, by preheating with boiling water, you make the cup much hotter to the touch, and that gives a nice illusion of a hotter drink versus just having a cold cup to begin with. If a cold cup of coffee is a big issue for you and your customers, then you might want to think of a more energy efficient way of preheating your cups even hotter, like a hot storage cabinet. The second thing that you can do is to make sure that you're actually steaming the milk as hot as possible. A good tip for steaming hot enough is to place one hand on the bottom of the jug. When it's too hot to keep holding on, that's when you know you're hot enough and to stop steaming. Using your hand underneath though won't get it as hot as possible. If you want to get a few more degrees out of your milk, then get a jug with a thermometer or a temperature strip. Once the milk is too hot and you have to take your hand away from the bottom of the jug, you'll notice that you've still got a few degrees to go before the milk reaches that 70-degree point. With just a little bit of practice, you'll be able to figure out how long you need to keep steaming for to get the hottest milk possible. So those are the few tips that you can actually use to make the drink hotter, but you can also just have a chat with your customer and maybe make a better recommendation for them. And one of those things is that you can just recommend that they order a different type of coffee. So milk can only go up to 70 degrees, but water can go up to 100. So if they get a coffee that is largely water-based instead of being milk-based, like an Americano, they can obviously be served a coffee that is much hotter to begin with and that they can sit with and enjoy for longer. And you can also just suggest they order a larger drink. So if they order a 6-ounce flat white, maybe suggest that they bump it up to a 12-ounce latte, free of charge perhaps. When someone orders an extra hot coffee, what they're actually usually asking for is a coffee that they can enjoy for a long period of time. So if you suggest that they can have a 12-ounce latte, it's going to have better heat retention than something smaller, but it's also just going to give them something that they can enjoy for a longer period of time. Those are all the tips and tricks, and even when you have gone through all of that, you still might get customers that complain that the coffee just isn't hot enough. At this point, there's only really one thing left to do, and that is to take the milk past the point of splitting and just go too hot. This is going to go against all of your training, and it's not going to be the most delicious coffee that you've ever served. But first and foremost, you have to remember that your job is to serve your customer what they are asking for. So those were the few things that you can do to help serve extra hot coffee at your coffee shop. If you have any tips of your own, then leave them in the comment section down below. If you need any help serving better coffee for your customers and you're interested in a wholesale coffee partner, then check out the link to our website down in the description. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.